And we'll be back from the break. It's 19 minutes to the top of the hour, but we're here to drive your business and give you business information as it's supposed to be. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. You're watching Smart Means Business. This is your daily Kickstarter here on Smart 24 TV. Well, besides that, you should be very conversant with investment and into the financial market space in Uganda. There is a platform called Zabu that gives you that advantage. Use the USSD code *292# to quickly adopt to the investment journey with Zabu, a platform by Altex East Africa. Altex East Africa says do something new. Zabu says my money and my future. Well, besides the same situation, you have the advantage of getting ahead of everybody by making your money shape up your future. Invest in bonds and securities with a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings. And also quickly note that these markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Also note that these markets close during public holidays and during the weekends. So Zabu says my money, my future. Altex East Africa says do something new. Now let's head on ground with Barije Andrew, who is in the capital, the CBD, to give us more of what is happening and how business is faring currently with the fact that the two festive season day celebrations are done. We head to Kampala Road with Barije Andrew to highlight for us.
27th of December, it's day 2 of the Christmas aftermath, as we are trying to observe what is really taking place in the world of business in town. And we are just here at Kampala Road trying to see the observation, trying to observe the situation, let me say that. And of course, we get to realize that actually there is a little bit of a pickup regarding the people coming to the city and businesses opening up. Though still, it's not yet to the top notch, like how we anticipated, or can I say, like how it is in the norm. Probably, if my camera person can show you what is really transpiring on the street here, just on my right-hand side, you get to realize that shops are a little bit starting to open up slowly by slowly in that regard, and there is a little bit of a pickup in business in that particular. So this is actually Kampala Plaza, where you're seeing right there, and quite lots of business enterprises are really trying to open up, simply because definitely during such a time, despite the fact that people are into their holidays, they are people that really prefer to purchase items in such a season, simply because there is also a belief that since there are few buyers trying to come and buy, that means chances are high that you can actually get those particular products at quite a cheaper price. So that's why at some point it's very necessary for these people to come and they really open up the shops and, work. The traders definitely have not gotten quite what they expected into this particular season, because they say that the people's spending has been a little bit limited and people are being they are prioritizing their expenditures, because majority have to take back the children to school. Remember that. So the money that they feel like they should spend on the festive season, on the festive holidays, they would rather prefer to sell it back. To save it, let me say that. They would rather prefer to save it back. So that's the situation like. This is Kampala Road. As you see, there is a little bit of congestion trying to come up as compared to yesterday. Yesterday, the city was literally dry. Uptown, it's totally dry. And now here, downtown, it's quite rare for you to have a feeling like as though downtown is like uptown. But at such a moment, you can actually feel it. You can feel there is no quite a lot of congestion. And actually, if you're coming from whatever part, like for example, you're coming from Waise, you're coming from Bombo, and you're gonna pass through the city center, chances are high you'll reach in a very short time. About 15 to 20 minutes, you will be already at your destination. So that's what is transpiring. Now, onto the street on my left, it's a little bit dry just behind the King Fahad Plaza, of course, where there was Fido Dido. You get to see that it's very dry. These shops are always open on normal days, but the street is pretty empty, and I think it's the most empty street like I've come across in the downtown today. Regarding that aspect, quite lots of businesses really take place there. Of course, people dealing into electronics, as you can see right there. A few fashion, though not really that much into that, and so many other services and some vendors that really operate on this street. So you get to see how the condition is like right there. People are still into the Christmas celebrations, though as we speak, some already in town, because there are consumers, like I said earlier, that would really prefer to actually come and purchase items at such period. So if you're a shop person, you have your business down, don't use that as an excuse not to really come and participate. Come and do it. You know, you can see of course the buying rate is very, very down. Yes, the buying rate is they shall be getting much more better conditions. Yes, and that is what is really transpiring right there. Actually, that same street where the camera is pointing at used to have quite a lot of boarders that used to really park on there to wait for the customers due to the huge condition that always is onto this road, because there is always a heavy traffic jam. Some taxis come and drop passengers on that particular street. Yes, they do drop them there, and of course some of them when they go off the street, they normally grab a border and they continue. But today, no, there is no congestion at all, no taxis at all, so no passengers to drop. So you get to realize the business has to go back as usual. As you see that far extreme end heading to Bombo, yes, that roundabout with Watoto, very free, though it's starting to get a little congested. Like I told you that today there is a little bit of a pickup regarding people showing up into the city. Of course, the city getting populated as such. And I believe these are some of the best moments, most especially for those people that are employed, because now at such a time you feel like you can actually reach your destination at a very faster rate. It feels like you can reach your business at a very faster rate and you transact that deal like the way you ought to, with comfort and ease. So that is the condition I like transpiring there. But you can still see there is quite a few vehicles coming from there. It wasn't the case like yesterday. It was a little bit much more different. I can see taxis carrying quite, most of the taxis that were coming from that side yesterday were actually pretty empty. It shows you that they were really driving fuel, wasting the fuel. Let me say that, what they call it, empty fuel, driving the taxi. But now at least you can see that there is a slight pickup. They are coming up with quite some passengers. So it really speaks volumes that business is getting back to normal. And of course, after the massive cry of the traders regarding this season, saying that they didn't really get what was really what they anticipated from that particular aspect. Now, like I told you, expenditure lately is prioritized. I remember back in the days, majority during the Christmas, the festive season, a majority of the people could buy electronic devices. As you can see, we are just heading straight to an electronic shop right there. And majority could flood those shops, buy these TV screens, buy the mobile phones, because, you feel like I need to enter Christmas feeling what we call the vibe. Trying to say that I need to enter the Christmas with a new TV. I need to enter the Christmas with a brand new home theater. But it's not the case lately. People have learned to live without that. And you find that such shops didn't really get people flooding into them to go and purchase the items that they do purchase. So that's the condition like here on Kampala Road at the center. Of course, looking at Kampala Plaza and then the E-Tower and the Prison Plaza on this particular street. Of course, I believe they are one of the busiest streets I'm seeing down here at Kampala Road. Something which has really surprised me on the 27th of December. Probably I was expecting it to start happening like around 29th of December. But I'm really surprised regarding what is really happening right here. A few people you can see moving in the building, trying to make a few transactions. And of course, trying to see that they can really earn a living at that particular, in that regard. So that is the situation. And that's what is really happening here on Kampala Road with a smooth congestion. Let me say that. The congestion is there, but it is just quite very slight. But probably, if it can be like this, like at this time of the morning, I can really anticipate that by the time we clock to about afternoon, coming to 2 p.m., 1 p.m., probably there will be a little bit of congestion, because majority of the people today, I'll say, a few traveled yesterday trying to come back to town to come and work into their businesses. But we anticipate today by exactly 2 p.m., some of the people that went, some of the business people that went are going to be arriving, and some congestion will be anticipated. But definitely that is really good news, because at the end of the day, business is really, I will be getting back to normal. But despite the fact that some of the traders lost, they said, we are going to keep this stock, of course, for January, because now come January, when there is like their preparations for the children to go back to school, the students to go back to school, there will be quite a high demand of school materials in that regard. And of course, some much more money will be expected, the requirements that is, So some of the traders, despite the fact that they may not have gotten what they anticipated for this season, what they have decided to do is to just keep the stock. So if you're watching Smart 24 TV right now, this is just something that you should really take into consideration. You're a business trader right there, and you're thinking, oh my God, my stock didn't really sell out that perfect as I expected, to make it much more easy. So just store that stock, keep that stock. The right time is coming when you will be in position to actually sell it to the people. And at this time you might sell it cheaply simply because you're desperate to let it go. But remember, in January, when the schools are about to open, people will be desperate for that stock, and you may even name your price. You may decide to make it expensive, and nobody will really mind, simply because at that particular time, there is quite a lot of demand for that particular stock. So you gotta be wise as you're making these particular decisions, because at the end of the day, they have long-term economic and financial implications to your business. They are the determinant factors on how far you may go in 2023. January speaks lots of volumes, and how best you plan for the January is your outlook of how things move into the festive season. How you sell out when it comes to business sales during such a time like the festive season, and that's the Christmas. So you can see that it's the situation like there on the streets, shops opening up slowly by slowly. So we anticipate that it will be getting back to normal. So town is free as such. If you want to shop something, feel free to come, walk around. If you don't like congestion, this is the right time for you to come and shop. Some people don't really want to shop in congested places due to their challenges which come along with that, and of course theft being one of them. And so they would prefer to come to a city that is free from congestion. In that way they feel. And and another factor, when there is freedom, when there is free movement, when there is limited congestion of people, you find that some people find it easy to express their bargaining skills on how on how much they are willing to spend on a product, on how much they are willing to buy, simply because some people feel shy. It's like, how will they see me trying to bargain over a material? But now, this is the right time for you to come. Few people, limited customers, and probably some of the people into these shops a little bit desperate to get rid of what they sell. And in particular for this Christmas season, where things didn't really turn out much as anticipated right there. So that is the situation like happening there. Empty streets, and of course people just moving on around. And some people actually use this time to do the window shopping, looking around, trying to find out those products that they have always desired to have for quite a longer time, but they weren't in position to. So it's a good time for you to move around, get to understand, get exposed to stuff, and this will enable your ability on how you really view the world, and it will help you for the coming year 2023 to make the right decision, to make the right financial decision, because you will be able to know how things really operate, and it will be something of great use for you. And that's it, what we had for you on Smart Means Business on Ground, as we are looking at day number 2 of the Christmas aftermath. What is the condition like here in town? How are people responding to Christmas? This particular Christmas has been unique in its own way. Back to studio with Jora.
To the normal working conditions, with the fact that Christmas is now done, a day that most people were anticipating so early since the start of the new year. But of course, we're still in the festivities, and it's time for you to be very cautious, as I leave you currently here on Smart 24 TV just to make sure that you remain cautious as you go out there to make more money. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. This is Smart Means Business. Have a blessed day. Till tomorrow same time. Good morning.